Throughout history, governments developed specific legislation across the various states and territories that had an impact on Aboriginal children being removed from their families. So access to records about those times in history can be really complicated because it's held by various departments, it's held by sometimes state archives, state libraries, and other times by church institutions. So within the toolkit, we'll look at the history of the stolen generations and encourage people to go and learn more in other places, and really start to look at the questions around where are the records, where are they held, and importantly, what information has or hasn't survived about that history. So across Australia, various Aboriginal protection and welfare boards were established that had absolute control over the lives of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, and of course one of the greatest impacts was around the removal of children. It's very hard to determine how many children were taken away, and there's been various reports that are also discussed in this toolkit that have done estimates for children being removed. However, the records themselves are actually vital in us trying to piece those puzzles together. And it's not always the case that records were kept. There's been significant reports that have been done to look at those impacts, and particularly work that is coming out of the Healing Foundation more recently. But the records are vital for us piecing them puzzles back together. But one of our challenges is that not all records have survived, nor were they created in the first instance. One of the things that we would advocate as being really important, and particularly in looking at people's healing, is the right of people to tell their own stories. So people's testimonies, people's oral histories all provide another perspective, because the government records don't always tell either the true story or a full picture of people's lives. So it's important that we think about records in an expansive way, and we actually empower people to tell their story and to document their history if the government archives or the church records don't actually document their true and lived experience.